Okay, well, this is the second week in a row where I don't think I have any joke to start this out on, or a way to make the intro or names different or entertaining.
You can be a turd and I'll be plates on the lawn.
Sure. Why am I the turd?
I don't know. It's the most memorable part of the movie, so
I
Well,
guess.
it wasn't there was another more memorable part to me in that movie.
Well, anyway, hello and welcome to another episode of No Highway Option. It's a cinema podcast where we answer the one question that applies to every piece of film on the planet. Is it better or worse than Vin Diesel's 2005 seminal masterpiece, The Pacifier? I'm Connor, one of your hosts, and according to my other host, I'm a turd.
but like a turd, like a friend would call you a turd.
A good money turd, apparently.
A pal turd. And I'm Luke.
He's apparently plates on a lawn.
I'm plates on the lawn, I guess.
And we have a guest today. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm Manny, and I'm talking to you guys right now out of my Masturbatorium.
There you go. That's the first time I've heard that phrase in a movie, because I say it all the time because I heard some British comedian say it, and I'm like, this is a
never
perfect
heard it.
phrase.
I was gonna say,
and
also never before.
And then I heard it in this. I was like, did the comedian take it from that, or did whatever? Anyway, in case you don't know the movie that we're talking about, it's recommended to us by Jessica from last week's episode. It's Running with Scissors. Written for the screen, produced and directed by Ryan Murphy. And I didn't have fun.
No, me neither. I really hated this movie, guys.
Sort of
I don't know. Jess, is that who you said recommended this? Well, I'm sorry that she recommended this movie. I don't know if she's got some kind of issues or anything that she wants to work out. But this movie was very, very hard to watch.
Yeah, it was pitched.
It was better than Kangaroo Jack. I'll agree with that. That's probably the most positive I have for it.
I have a thing about the disparity between those two later. But Luke, I don't know if you remember, because I listened to some of the Dahufa episode right before this, and this was pitched to us as a comedy.
Yeah, I remember her really hyping it up as a comedy.
Great comedy starring Alec Baldwin, Kristen Chenoweth, Evan Rachel Wood, and Gwyneth Paltrow. One of those actors is a main character.
Yeah, I was gonna say those all sounded like supporting
the rest
actors.
Are all kind of just cameos.
Yeah.
I think this movie is if somebody took a Wes Anderson film and tried to make those characters, what is their serious life? And that's what I couldn't stop thinking the whole time.
That's actually a really good comparison.
That is. What if we took all of the fun in something and made it mean and awful?
It'll occasionally be fun, but even that won't be that fun.
It'll be a weird, twisted sense of fun.
It couldn't decide what it wanted to be.
Yeah. It had a huge issue with tone and everything.
Yeah.
It was very weird.
Well, and if you think about what the director's done, Ryan Murphy I didn't look at his movie career because the name, all I needed to know was he did Glee and Scream Queens and the American Horror Stories. And Glee kind of has similar tonal problems to this, but it just tried more with the comedy and wasn't allowed to say fuck.
Yeah.
Glee could have benefited from some more of this, I think.
Yeah. Glee definitely could have benefited with more masturbatoriums.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys know what my favorite part of that movie was, but
I wonder.
Spoiler alert, it was the masturbatorium scene.
Well, speaking of specific scenes, do we want to get to the beat-by-beat analysis of the thing?
Yeah.
All right, so first off, just a note for me. It's a TriStar movie. I feel like TriStar doesn't make movies anymore. They have a Pegasus in their logo.
The horse, yeah, the Pegasus. Yeah.
I thought that was cool. Turns out that they are still making movies. They made the Mr. Rogers movie last year, and the next thing that they're releasing is actually the movie that made Tenet move its date.
What is that?
It's like a rom-com about like, what if you kept a souvenir from every ex you ever had? In theaters July 17th. Please wear a mask.
No. I'm out.
Pass.
Yeah, that's not making me go back to theaters. We meet our main character, Augustine Burroughs. And
so are we ripping on this guy's real life? Where's our line here?
I mean, his real life is this movie, right? Because this is based off his like memoirs.
This is his memoirs. So I guess we are ripping on his real life. Like I don't.
I mean, I knew that this movie was going to be about parents hating their kid. After I found out his name was Augustine.
So, right.
Yeah, like not even Augustus, which is like a real name.
Yeah. Yeah, it was. That's. I don't think I've met anyone named Augustine or know anyone, even like famous people named Augustine. I guess other than this guy.
Oh, yeah.
No, it's like half Augustus, half Austin.
Yeah.
Like they were in a fight in the delivery room or something. Like the doctor's like, well, you'll just have to compromise.
Maybe that's what it is. Maybe that speaks to like the tone of the movie is like, because it's all about like mental issues and shit. So maybe it's just like, oh yeah, his name is like caught in between two names, just like he's caught in between his life. I don't know.
I mean, that's definitely a thought. That kind of makes it read a little better.
Yeah, I had to read a lot into this movie to enjoy it. So.
It's according to him, it's a story about how his mom left him and then he left his mom. His mom is Deirdre, played by Annette Bening, and it's set in the 70s. And you can tell not only because they had the title card, but they have those really huge 70s cigarette lighters.
Oh, yeah.
Like where they have to have two hands. I just find those neat.
And everyone smokes, too.
Everyone smokes all the time.
Yeah.
Deirdre is a poet who wants to be famous for her poetry, and
poetry is huge in this. I feel like I was watching it and I was thinking, is there that much of a market? And I guess the answer is yes, because this was a real thing
in the 70s. 70s Massachusetts, at least.
Wasn't she like a failed poet though? So like she didn't really.
I think by the end, didn't she publish some stuff?
I guess that's
she got one published at the end. Yeah. But we'll get to it.
But she was like really driving for that. I just feel like, I don't know. I mean, maybe I just don't have a lot of like poets in my circle.
Yeah. I mean, I put down that she kind of seems insufferable. And if she existed in the 2010s, she'd probably have a terrible true crime podcast.
Yeah.
Like that just seems like her vibe.
Where she reads poetry at the end.
She tries to solve crimes, but they're all like really mediocre things, like who double parked my mom's Buick.
Yeah. There's just basic problems. I ran out of stamps today.
She just doesn't understand it. She's like, I keep putting my trash out and then it disappears. Who is stealing my garbage? We also meet Augustine. I wrote Augie in all my notes as his name, because I didn't feel like writing out Augustine. And I also wrote a note, please don't call him Augie during the episode. But
failed.
Too late for that. Sorry, past self. You have to be disappointed about another thing. Alec Baldwin is his dad named Norman. And because it's 2006, Alec Baldwin is sued. It's not Norman, it's Jack Donaghy from 30 Rock.
Anybody else catch that like really intimate look he gave the dog in that first shot?
Yeah, I have a question about the dog too. Mainly, the dog is apparently an old lady dog who doesn't play with Augustine, named Cream, and he covers her with tinfoil.
Oh yeah, they never really explain that.
Paws and back.
Tinfoil shit.
Is that supposed to like signify that he wants to be a hairstylist? Is he like trying to dye her fur?
Yeah, but he didn't know. I don't think he knew then, right?
Yeah.
He was just covering people like dogs in tinfoil. Because he also had it. There was later on in the movie where he was sleeping with Neil, right? That was his name.
Mm-hmm.
And you could see on the bedpost like on the
There's
posts on the
tinfoil
tops.
there.
Yeah, there was tinfoil on them, and it never really like was explained. It was just like, oh yeah, this dude just likes to put tinfoil on stuff. I didn't understand that.
Maybe it's
Yeah,
something that, one of those things that like it was part of the book and
maybe.
they
Oh,
didn't talk
maybe.
about it.
Or like
Yeah.
cut scenes, because even though this thing is 2 hours long, it still feels like they set stuff up and then they were like, oh well, we don't have room for this to pay off.
Yeah.
Like how he boils his quarters to shine
Oh,
his allowance because he
that
likes
was another
shiny
Yeah.
one.
things. The rest of the movie, he doesn't care about shiny things. That's just a
Yeah, I didn't get
scene.
that. I did not get that either. I did like how his Alec Baldwin was kind of just like, "Why are you like this?"
I don't
I don't.
see
Yeah,
I don't see any of myself in you at all.
Yeah.
That was a good line. But
it was all downhill from there.
Deirdre finds out she gets rejected from the New Yorker, and you know that because the score is a very sad piano.
But like, have you? I mean, I guess I haven't read that much of the New Yorker either. But like, are they publishing 20-page poems?
I think she just had it 20 pages so that like
She'd do
she
4 lines
could
a page.
sound dramatic and look dramatic when she read it.
Maybe.
I don't know, man. I don't.
She was a weird lady.
The most
Yeah.
poetry I do are like limericks
Yeah.
or rap, I guess. I don't know. That's poetry.
Well, the one thing I didn't like is she would read the poems to him like as a kid, and the poems were like they were very like dark too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like at least dark enough that you shouldn't be reading them to your like 10-year-old son or whatever.
However old he is, I think he's 9 in this scene, 8 or 9, because we get an age really late in the movie that's
Yeah.
it kind of makes the entire movie very uncomfortable, more so
Yes.
than it already is.
Yeah.
I
I
Yeah.
didn't.
So we cut to 6 years later, and Augustine has aged like 10 or 15 years. He went from an 8-year-old to a 22-year-old.
Yeah, that's an adult man.
Yeah, that's what it seemed like he went to,
Yeah.
a 22-year-old.
Yeah. We see one of the stars of the film, apparently, Kristen Chenoweth, reading at Deirdre's poetry club, and she reads a bad garden poem. So Deirdre's like, I hate you and you are wrong about everything. Please cry.
Yeah, I really like that part where she was just shitting on
Yeah.
her.
I mean, Kristen Chenoweth's good at crying.
Yeah.
She's an entertaining person. And then we smash cut to a parent fight with drunk Alec Baldwin rushing to beat Deirdre, but then he hits his head, but he's okay. After
So I have a question about that. What was he going for? Because he was running at her.
Yeah.
But like he was just kind of just like moving his body towards
I think
her.
it was
He looked like a bull charging at the fucking cupboards
I think it was
Is that-
maybe to pin her against the wall.
with his head.
Yeah, it just seemed like a weird attack.
I don't know, man. Alec Baldwin's
Which
a
I know
strange
wasn't
dude.
supposed to be
Drunk
the
Alec
takeaway.
Baldwin's-
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were definitely supposed to be like, oh my God, but
I definitely, if I was going to abuse my wife, no, I'm just kidding.
there's the
So
episode title.
goodbye, half of our listeners. Next we have a guy who's dressed like he's in The Exorcist come to the house. He is Dr. Finch. It's funny, he calls Augustine Buckaroo, and when asked if he wants a drink, he just asks for bologna slices and horseradish.
Yeah.
Which is
That made
when
me
I
laugh.
would throw him out of my house immediately.
It's
Yeah,
true.
that's a very unstable guy. Also, the music that was playing when he got to the place, it was very like it was another one of those tone issues I had where it just seemed like kind of out of place because it was like it was some kind of like Hispanic sort of like upbeat song.
It was
but
it
a
was
very
Kiss Ass, wasn't it?
Is that?
I think
Oh yeah,
so.
that's what it was. Yeah. Perhaps for the for the translation there. But yeah, it was very weird. There was a few instances where that happened where the song playing in the background didn't really match like what was going on in the scene. Like there was one score that they kept doing for like every time it gets sad, which was actually pretty good. But then like every other song that they used, it just seemed like they were just using it to be like, oh, hey, we got the rights for this song,
Right.
Yeah, we'll get to
This
it later.
is where money
but
went.
The soundtrack is good, but it's executed horribly.
Yeah, like all the songs were good, but
Weird.
The Doctor also looks exactly like Dr. Seuss. If you ever seen a picture of Dr. Seuss, like it is a spot on. I was distracted the entire time, but Dr. Finch goes to talk to Deirdre about her anxiety and how she's pooping, which I guess foreshadows later in the movie. He gives her Valium, and then they go to get a divorce.
Yeah, she said she was constipated with her life. I like that line. I was like, you know what? That's a good representation of my life, too. I'm constipated with life also, Deirdre. I feel you on this.
I'll give you those points.
Yeah.
There's a good line where Deirdre and Norman are in the car, and Norman says something about love, and she goes, I smell manure. I think the manure is coming out of your ears. I was like, aha, he's full of shit. That's funny.
Just keep with the burns, too. Deirdre's good. That's one thing Deirdre's good at in this whole movie. Is just shitting on people.
The just snappy lines.
Everyone.
So in Dr. Finch's office, he meets Augustine, and Augustine asks where a door goes. So Dr. Finch decides
Manny?
to show them, Manny.
It's a masturbatorium, dude.
It's a masturbatorium, and he gives him the grand tour.
Yeah, which is just a therapist chair and a table and a box of tissues.
And a blanket.
He also has 2 pictures. Oh, yeah, and a blanket. Yeah. The pictures were like the Queen of England and some other person. I don't know.
I think it was a dude.
Really?
I'm pretty sure. But
I want to know the story behind that, like why he had those 2 specific pictures in his masturbatory room.
There's probably more in the memoir, but like after watching this, I don't know if I want to take the time to read it.
Yeah.
Well, supposedly the book is like very good. I don't know for sure, but so this took place like in the next town over from where I live.
Oh, nice.
And I guess this was like a whole big deal. Like the therapist had some kind of connection to one of the schools around here, and so this came out and it made people very uncomfy. And that was another thing that it was pitched to us. Jess told us, she was like, oh man, this takes place in Northampton, you're going to see all these shots of it, and there was not a single one.
Yeah, there wasn't a single time.
I couldn't see. It all looked like sound stages.
Yeah.
The one when Deirdre she's on stage and she's talking to the audience, and that's happening while she's getting committed. That I'm fairly certain is happening at a location in town. I was like,
oh,
that's neat.
And then we came back to the movie.
In there, we meet Gwyneth Paltrow's character. She's Dr. Finch's daughter, and she's named Hope. And she seems to just be a strange person who believes she can commune with her cat, and just is an all over the place weirdo who's not really in touch with her emotions. So it's just Gwyneth Paltrow being Gwyneth Paltrow.
She's like really religious too, right?
Yeah. They both are. And right after that, during a scene where Alec Baldwin is leaving his family, very sad and somber scene, Benny and the Jets plays.
I actually wrote that down.
Why Benny and the Jets? Why then?
I had no idea. I thought that was really fun. I mean, I guess that leads to the comedy of it. But
yes.
Yeah, I thought that was ridiculous. What a song you'll leave your family to.
Yeah.
Like if I was gonna leave my family to a song, I want it to be Benny and the Jets.
Like, was it supposed to get us on to Deirdre's side? Because like the song starts as he's like beginning to walk out, and the start of Benny and the Jets has all the applause and like people cheering.
Maybe.
Was that the point of it?
Maybe. I don't know.
I'm just realizing this right now.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe this movie was a lot more was a lot deeper than what we all thought. You know what I mean?
What we signed up for.
It doesn't make it better though.
No, it doesn't. But
So Deirdre and Augustine are gonna stay at Finch's house in this wonderful neighborhood, but it's this big, pink, decrepit house that's covered in junk. And he has a cat named Freud. Ha 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 ha.
It reminded me of the house from Fight Club, actually, for whatever reason. I don't know why.
Okay.
But as soon as I saw the house, I was like, "Oh, is that the house from Fight Club?" And I looked up the house from Fight Club, and I was like, a completely different house. And I was like, "All right."
We meet Agnes, Finch's wife.
Yeah,
She's eating dog food.
She was eating dog food. Luke, have you ever eaten dog food?
I haven't. Manny, have you ever eaten dog food?
I have. It's
Really?
it's not that bad actually. It actually tastes exactly how it smells. Like that's the one food.
That's not a good sales pitch.
No, it's not. I mean, for dogs it probably is, but for humans who aren't supposed to be eating dog food, it's probably not. But yeah, I used to when I was a kid. I would go over to my friend's house, and he had dogs, and he had all these dog treats and stuff. And like the one day, I was just like, "Oh, I wonder what one of these tastes like." So I remember eating one, and it just became like a thing. Like every time I came over to this house, they're like, "Oh, man, you want to eat a dog treat?" And I'd be like, "Yeah, dude." It's shaped like a bone. I love bone-shaped foods.
My favorite food.
Yeah.
I did a show with a guy a couple of years ago, and we had this group chat going. And in the middle of the night, he texted us one night and was like, "Oh man, I just ate what I thought was a cookie because of the shape, and it was a dog cookie." And then he was out for like 3 days straight after that.
What do you mean out?
Like he couldn't come in. He was
passed
sick.
Out. He ate a dog treat.
And he really wanted us to think like, "Oh, well, it wasn't the dog treat." And we're like, "I don't know, Randy." Like,
yeah.
Lined up.
What else did you do that day that got you that sick?
Randy, if you're listening, that one's for you.
I will say though, I never got sick after eating any dog treats. So maybe his immune system.
You got a stronger stomach.
Good. Yeah.
Yeah. It made you strong.
Maybe that's what it is. I got more bones in my system.
Doesn't she say something about like you just need to try new things or whatever when he's like you're eating a dog's food?
Yeah. I think
something about broadening horizons or something,
too, which I thought was really nice. She like offered him. I was like,
oh, really welcoming.
Yeah.
She watches Dark Shadows on the TV, which I only was excited about because right before that I was like, the interior of this house looks like the interior of that really shitty Tim Burton movie, Dark Shadows. And then it was like, hey, Dark Shadows. And I was like, wow. And there's still a Christmas tree up in the foyer.
Yeah.
With a small feral boy shitting underneath it.
Yes.
Yeah. I forgot about that.
Well, and this is all we ever see of him. His name is John Moses. So he gets a first and last name, and he has one line said twice. He just looks at people and goes, I just pooped. I just pooped.
Isn't he the son of a patient of the doctors or whatever? They just left there or whatever.
Yeah, but like he gets more backstory than Deirdre does in this movie.
I think it's wild that the doctor has patience at all.
Yeah, there's issues with the doctor, but you get into more of them later. The Christmas tree's up there, and then the score starts playing Oh Christmas Tree, but it's the Charlie Brown Christmas version. Like it's full Vince Guaraldi, and I was like, this doesn't belong here. Like, one, this is a bad scene to show it in.
Sure it does. There's a kid shitting. There's a Christmas tree full of cigarettes.
Where doesn't it belong in that? You know.
So after meeting John Moses, we meet Evan Rachel Wood as Natalie, who. She's not getting the Brad Garrett Award, but I guess she's my favorite character in the movie because I don't like anybody in this movie.
Mine was Agnes.
True, but I at least like Evan Rachel Wood as an actress.
What else was she in? I know her.
She's in Westworld.
Oh yeah, she's of course. That's where I know her from.
That's like the big thing, yeah.
She a cowboy robot.
Yeah,
I don't know the show.
Like the main cowboy robot.
She was in an episode of What We Do in the Shadows, which was great.
Oh shit, nice. I love that show.
So we meet her. She's like this alternative for 1970s girl. She tries to do electroshock therapy to Augustine with the Vince Guaraldi music still playing in the background.
Which he agrees with like 100%. He was just like, all right, let's just shock me.
Yeah, he doesn't have much agency the entire movie.
Yeah.
I thought it was wild after we found out. At first, I thought we were going a direction. This was going to be like a relationship. And then especially when she started doing the electroshock therapy and he was like, okay, I guess I gotta. I thought there was like something there.
Like
and then
chemistry?
it wasn't. Like, yeah, he was not.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was
insane.
chemistry, but I think it was like a juvenile sort of like brother sister chemistry.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And maybe that was something that we all, because I read it the same way at first, and then like, you know, with the knowledge of the, you know, how the rest of the movie went, it was like, oh, okay, that was just, you know, sibling chemistry.
Right.
With at least for me, with how Augustine looked and how he was styled, and knowing what Ryan Murphy did after this, I was like, he can't be in love with her because he's styled too much like Kurt from Glee. Like, he's got the same hair going on.
It reminded me of Foreman from that 70s show.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see that. I mean, I guess it's like the period.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Also, Natalie just swears all the time and uses another R slur, which is weirdly the second movie we've had to use that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it was the 70s. It's a different time.
Also, the second movie with an R slur and a main character who wants to be a hairstylist or is a hairstylist. Like,
what
this
other
has
movie
a
did you
weird
watch?
Connection. Kangaroo Jack has both.
Oh, yeah. Completely forgot.
It's really weird how it worked out like that. So Gwyneth is Hope. She also seems like a 24-year-old who's trying to act like a 16-year-old. Like,
see, I've thought Gwyneth Paltrow has looked about 32 forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's about right.
So it's been, this is 2002. This is 18 years ago, and she looks the same.
This is 2006.
Oh, it was?
Yeah.
Huh.
I mean, it's still like a long time ago, and she still looks exactly the same, pretty much.
Deirdre goes with Dr. Finch to have a session and comes back slurring her words. So, like, he's drugging her a lot.
What drugs is he giving her? I forget. I know you said it already.
They show him giving her Valium in the beginning, but I think there's probably more. And the fact that he does it at a motel, I'm guessing he's sleeping with her.
Oh, I didn't get that.
That was my assumption, because he says something about going to a motel to do like the therapy, and that's why Augustine's waiting at the house.
He sold the big thing about how Alec Baldwin was trying to kill the mother, and that's why we had to keep her hidden at the hotel. And I don't know that I buy that, because Alec Baldwin got away from her and then lived a life.
I think it's a lot of gaslighting.
Yeah. So it was just the doctor was just trying to have sex with the mom, and that was it.
That's what I'm thinking.
I could get on board with that. Not get him.
It's bad.
Wow, Luke. Way to out yourself.
There's the episode title. Running with Scissors, Luke is a bad person.
I understand that was the point, is what I was saying.
So now Augustine is living in this strange house with strange people. Like, they set up that they do a thing if they don't know how to make a decision called Bible dipping. They do it once in the entire movie.
Never comes back.
Where it's like, should we have fish sticks? Oh, let's point to a word in the Bible. It can vaguely translate to yes, which was a joke that The Simpsons did 3 years earlier. Just wanted to point that out. The episode is A Star is Born Again, season 14, episode 13.
Nice. What? You just had that on lock?
That's awesome. In your pocket?
I had to look up this season and the episode, but the second they were like Bible dipping, I'm like, this is the episode where Ned Flanders debates whether or not to have sex with that movie star. Which one is that again?
Do you know the thing that really struck me with this was I went to church a lot growing up, And the pastor, I remember the pastor he wouldn't always say it, but like occasionally he would say, oh yeah, like sometimes people will try and get advice by going through the Bible just at random and picking a verse, and that's their fucking like verse that they use to live their life by. And he's like, that's not a really good way to live your life. So seeing it in this movie, it was just like, damn, dude.
They do.
It really
right.
isn't. Yeah.
It do be like that sometimes.
Yeah.
Hope is revealed to be the favorite child of Finch because he turns to her and says, "Hope, you are my favorite child."
Yeah. I thought that was funny.
That was a very like Wes Anderson film moment.
Yeah, that's a joke that belongs in a different movie.
Yeah.
Like, that's why it was funny. It was just like picked out of some other script and plopped.
Yeah. If you watch the trailer for this movie, it's Benny and the Jets plays throughout, and it's like all of those.
Comedy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. As forementioned, Hope thinks the cat named Freud can talk to her, and she's like, I'm keeping him in this cage because he wants to, or not even in a cage, like under a laundry basket, because he has kitty leukemia and he's going to die in a week. And he died a week later, but she hadn't been feeding him, as the narration tells us. So, like, she's
murdered
crazy.
That cat.
The cat told her it had leukemia, right?
Mm-hmm. Well,
how would the cat know that it had leukemia? Like, if I'm to believe that she can understand what this cat is saying, how does this cat understand what leukemia is and then understand that it has it?
And understand that there's a separate cat version.
Maybe the cat...
Because it specifies kitty leukemia, not just like...
Maybe
regular human.
Have medical books around the house and the cat is reading them. The cat is a doctor.
I mean, if you think about Gwyneth Paltrow and her whole thing with Goop, I think she wasn't acting. I think she just started saying that on set, and everyone went, all right,
this is good.
Sure, whatever.
Yeah,
this is your character now.
Yeah.
We cut forward to a scene with Augustine and Natalie just walking about as more Vince Guaraldi Christmas music plays in the background. And he comes out to her and she's like, yeah, no shit. And she reveals that she has another adopted brother who is also gay, named Neil. And Neil and Augie meet. They go to a Lena Wertmuller directing movie festival, which I meant to look up that director and I forgot. But it's French, apparently.
What else do you think he did?
I don't know, man. Some with a clown, apparently.
They talk a lot about that clown.
Was it Pagliacci? That's the only Italian clown I know.
Maybe.
I like to think it was all just like mime shit.
It's just 2 hours of the mime doing the box thing, and everyone's like, this is art. This is perfect.
It's the artist, but all mimes.
Neil and Augustine have gay sex after that, and then he walks home and sees Deirdre and Fern, who's Kristen Chenoweth, making out, which is just out of nowhere. And another Ryan Murphy staple of just like, character is suddenly gay.
Well, that's interesting because, like, is it a Ryan Murphy staple, or did this really happen and we mixed the middle part?
But I mean, yeah, that could be a thing where it really happened. But then afterwards, Ryan Murphy kept doing it in like shows and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
See, I don't really know Ryan Murphy that well to know that this is something that he does in all of his...
Yeah.
It's like his... like Michael Bay always does explosions in movies and stuff. It's Ryan Murphy's always has a gay character that just comes out like, at random.
Sudden surprise gay, bad home life, quirky, like snippy dialogue.
Big gay explosion.
This doesn't have Kathy
Kurt
Bates
Hummel
in it.
had a great home life. Just to toss out.
Okay, well, but someone in that didn't. I don't know, man. It's been like 12 years since I watched Glee.
It's been a long while since I watched Glee.
Yeah, I've only seen like 2 episodes of Glee, so I'm sorry.
The last
I can't.
time I watched it was when I was over Luke, your apartment sophomore year, and you were like, "You got to watch both episodes of the finale, man. You can't miss it." And I'm
Well,
like, "I haven't watched it in years," and you're like, "You gotta."
I did it. I did a show my sophomore year where I had like 2 lines, and the play was like 3 hours long. So I went back and finished Glee after from where I had stopped. So it was like there was probably a month period of time where I watched 3 seasons of Glee, just like back to back to back.
What show was that?
The Oscar Wilde one. Importance of
What,
being earnest.
do you remember
Oh,
your
that
lines?
was my sophomore year.
Oh man,
No, you
I
didn't,
don't remember
because
my 3 lines.
because
You don't
as
remember
the
your 3
assistant
lines?
stage manager, you had 3 lines and you got a line note every night
It was
Wow,
like
Luke.
as
it
one of
was
the
like
assistant stage
thank you,
managers.
sir, or like
Your car is here, sir. Thank you, sir.
yeah,
And then
something like
like
that.
How does
I don't think there
Connor
was
remember all
introducing
your
Miss
lines and you don't?
because I had to write them a lot.
Oh, because you actually had to memorize them for him. All
Because
right,
yeah,
I
I
get
was one of the assistant stage managers.
it.
Um, and then we get to Deirdre waxing about her life and how her life was so hard. And so she
Waxing poetic, if you will. You know.
waxing poetic, using the N-word a whole lot.
Yeah,
And
she
being
was.
like, because I'm a failed poet and a closet lesbian or bisexual or whatever, I have the same plight as this black lady that I knew. And I'm just like, this is a bad take. All of
that
this is
was
bad.
something she rolled out of there with.
Yeah, yeah,
And you know, when they were like writing this and shooting this, they were like, this is Annette's Oscar scene. Like, they're gonna show this clip at the Oscars and everyone's gonna swoon and cry. And it's like,
Oof.
no.
Was this movie up for anything? Like,
I don't think so.
okay.
I think it laid a huge egg. I think on Rotten Tomatoes it has like a 50, maybe.
Oh, really? It does seem like very like Oscar baity, like you know what I mean?
Oh, it's
Yeah.
trying. And I feel like Annette Bening has 3 settings in this movie because she's a good actress, but I feel like she's either angry, drunk, or like poetry robot.
Well,
Yeah,
I thought we had a lot of decent performances. It's just you can only polish a turd so much.
yeah, I
Keep bringing
agree.
up turds.
I think the only bad performance was of the young Augustine, the little kid. I hated
Yeah.
him so much. I
Yeah,
don't
he
know. I
was
think I just hate like child actors because they really just like kind of like take me out of it because they're so bad for the
I
most
hate
part.
child actors when they're like precocious and like little adults. And it's like,
Yeah,
no, just
yeah,
let him act like a kid.
yeah, yeah. I was not feeling it, but other than that, though, I thought the acting was very good across the board.
We find out that Finch is adopting Augustine, just like he adopted Neil. And this is when we find out in a conversation that he's supposed to be in middle school.
He's 14.
Yeah.
They're like, Augustine's talking and he's like, I don't want to go to school. So Finch is like, why don't you fake a suicide? Like,
Yeah.
that's chill. That's cool, right?
Great for
only
your therapist to say that.
Yeah.
therapist and new dad.
Yeah, yeah,
And
This
he's
guy
like,
is the Michael Scott of psychiatry.
and he's
yeah.
like, you're only in what, junior high? And I'm like, he's what?
Yeah.
Like, he just hooked up with a fully 30-something-year-old man, and you're telling
Yeah.
me now he's 14 and we're supposed to be cool with it?
And
Bad.
they continue that relationship too of
Mhm.
The
Neil
whole
and Augustine.
time.
Yeah.
Bad movie. Bad. That's not
Great
cool.
suggestion. Hey, great suggestion,
Yeah.
Jess. You nailed it with this one. I don't even know her. I'm sorry, Jess. I don't know you. You're probably a nice person, but this movie was
This movie's
tough.
a turd.
Yeah.
Yeah, this did not work well. So Augustine does fake the suicide. He like takes a
Yeah.
bunch of pills and gets his stomach pumped, and like it's a very harrowing scene to like smash cut to after that. And then
It needed like Funky Town or something.
Yeah.
It's a perfect place to put in The Pretender by Billy Joel.
Oh my god. I mean, it would make sense with this movie.
It would make
Nothing
sense
makes
because it
sense in this
doesn't
movie.
make sense.
Yeah.
After that, Augustine's not in school, which they make such a big deal about him going to school. We never see his school experience, which is just bad weird. What's Finch's wife's name again? I forgot it for a moment.
Agnes.
Agnes gets him a little
Nipples and bits.
cosmetology book with
Yeah.
hairstyles. That's nice. She's getting to be a nice person.
And then they have that conversation about dreams and stuff. I thought that this was actually my favorite scene in the entire movie, was her giving him the book and everything, and her like sitting down and talking to him like, hey man, you can achieve like your dreams, you know what I mean? I thought honestly, like, this whole movie was terrible, but that was like one of the shining moments of it to me, you know what I mean? Because it was a very like down to earth, like,
heartfelt.
oh man, this is a really nice moment, you know? Wholesome.
It was, yeah.
Which we didn't get to say much about this.
Yeah.
We get scenes of Fern and Deirdre calling Fern to confess that she wants her back, and then a man answers, and this is around the same time as Augustine's like, hey Neil, we shouldn't be doing this, should we? Like, I don't want to do this. So wow, parallels of mother and son, how thoughtful, I guess.
Yeah, I didn't. They said the junior high thing, and I thought that was fucked up. But we didn't get tangible numbers until around that scene when he was like, "I want rules, I want boundaries, I want someone to tell me that I shouldn't be fucking this 35-year-old man."
Yeah.
And I went, "What?"
And it's not even like, he's not like, I want someone to like come and stop this. He's like, I should be grounded for hooking up with him, shouldn't I? And it's like, there's a lot worse things that should be happening.
He should be grounded for hooking up with you, son.
To Neil. Neil should be the one who's
This
getting
is not
punished
your
more
responsibility.
severely.
Yeah.
There's a scene where Natalie fakes her hair getting caught on fire. Haha.
I laughed at that part when she said, "That's funny. You should be laughing." That one got points.
I guess.
I'm alone here.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Oh, and then we get a bad final, the scene that I described as just a bad final scene in an acting 101 class, where Natalie reveals the tragic backstory of Terrence Maxwell, another pedophile.
Yeah.
That's the one that abused her?
Yeah, he was like a 41-year-old when she was 13, and like something happened and he broke her collarbone. So to keep Finch quiet, he had to pay them $75,000 for a college fund. And then Finch spent all of it to like shut the IRS up.
About the house.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which, like, I don't know. I was like, why are there more pedophiles in this movie?
This movie was like a bug light for pedophiles.
It's bad. And at the same time, Neil is talking to Finch, and he's furious about not curing him because he's schizophrenic. He mentions having the voices.
He takes a lot of pictures too. There's a lot of pictures in his house, in his like room, just like up on his walls and stuff.
They mentioned he went to college for photography.
Yeah, but like him, like knowing that he's like schizophrenic, and then seeing the inside of his house and seeing how he like strung up all the pictures, the vibe around Neil was very it was a very uncomfortable vibe, like every time he was on screen.
Big danger.
Yeah.
So I guess that was a solid job on Ryan Bergman's part.
Yeah.
He really made him feel like a pedophile.
And then Agnes wants Deirdre to go away forever, but she wants to keep Augustine as part of the family. And while this is happening, Augustine and Natalie are destroying the kitchen ceiling.
Another shot that's in the trailer.
Yeah. And like, I think some song is playing while all of this is happening at once. And then everyone just screams because Finch is like, Neil, you should scream. It's like therapeutic. Or Deirdre, scream. It's therapeutic. And then just every concurrent scene screams. And
Yeah.
I had the closed captioning on, and it just said all screaming. I was like,
Oh, did it just say ah?
And then we meet Gabrielle Union as Dorothy.
She, by the way, looks beautiful in this movie.
Oh yeah, Gabrielle Union's fantastic.
Yeah.
All the time. And speaking of good actors who just show up randomly, Patrick Wilson, also a good actor. Just here as an IRS agent who's gonna take the house. And that's another plot thread that we have to add to this just clusterfuck.
I mean, that's one. I mean, I guess that is one that has a payoff. So
Augustin is bad at hairstyling because he's trying to get the cold wave down or whatever. There's a just bad joke about something about how Natalie was like ripping off chunks of her hair, and he just said, "You look like you have Down syndrome."
yeah, that was so.
Yeah.
It didn't make any sense.
And it was just bad.
Yeah. It just seemed like he wanted to. The writer or whatever wanted to put that in just to say like as a joke, someone looked like they have Down syndrome. You know what I mean?
He
like
kept pitching it for every scene.
Wanted to be edgy.
Yeah. How about for this? He said he tells her she looks like she has Down syndrome. No, all right, we'll try for the next scene.
Oh man, it's got to be somewhere.
Yeah, where can we put this line? You look like you have Down syndrome.
It didn't even make it into the script. That one writer was just on set every day being like, do the Down syndrome joke.
He was calling lines like you were doing for Luke.
Yeah.
He was just like, Down syndrome.
This line note has this terrible joke on it that I never read in the script before. Oh no, it's fine. Just say it. While this is happening, Hope is making dinner and talking about how mature she is.
Yes, and she also has cornrows that Augustin, I think, did for her, or cornrows or braids. I can't remember exactly which one it was.
I think
it's braids.
I think they were cornrows.
It looked like It looked like cornrows into braids.
Into it, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Which I get that was supposed to be a funny joke, but I was just, it's not. Don't work.
I thought it was funny. It's a little subtle things that I thought were funny in this movie.
And then she feeds her stew to Natalie and reveals that it's the cat.
So do we think the cat was really in there, or do we think she was fucking around?
Oh, I think the cat was actually in there.
I think the cat was definitely in there.
Because after everyone freaks out and is like, you are a psycho, because she's like, oh yeah, no, Freud's ghost told me he wanted to be reincarnated as Stu. And then everyone's like, what the hell is wrong with you? That's not funny. Like, fuck off. Everyone leaves and she's like, haha, it was a joke. I'm expressing my grief through humor.
It reminded me of
classic move.
It reminded me of, there was a time when I was in high school, we were in like English class, and the teacher was like going off, and it was like a really serious thing, like people have been killed or abused or something. But he was like, the way that he was telling the story, and I was like half paying attention, he was like up there and he was like moving around, and it like looked funny. So he said something serious, and I laughed, and then nobody else around me laughed. And then everyone like turned around, and he was like, do you think something's funny about that, Luke? And I went, it was a cough. And then we moved on. And that's what that laughter reminded me of.
It's a classic move, definitely a classic move from Hope to just be like, oh yeah, this is like one thing, and then when everyone's against it, be like, no, I was just joking, guys. Yeah,
gotcha.
Next we have Neil at the poetry club, and he reads just like an angry, violent poem about nuns because they would beat him in Catholic school. And
he was the only one to understand the assignment.
True. And then Dorothy gets in a fight with Augustin because she's helping out Deirdre, and he's like, stay away from my mom. And then we get the turd scene. Everyone's favorite turd scene, where Finch just makes a big old morning dookie, and it's poking out of the water a little bit. And he's like, well, we are going to have a lot of money now.
Do we actually see the poop in the toilet?
Nope.
No.
Okay.
The camera angle is always like From
As if we are the turd.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're the viewer is the poop.
I mean, this movie is treating me like shit, so
The viewer is the poop.
I kind of want to look up this script now just to see if there are shots listed like poop POV.
Oh my god.
Um,
That's a stage note that I want to see too.
Finch and Hope are determined to make a shrine because they think it's a sign from the Lord. And everyone's like, yeah, Finch isn't okay, but we're going to do it for him. Agnes is going to get a shoehorn to scoop out the turd. And while Augustine's looking around, he's like, everything's so weird. I just want stuff to be normal. I just want someone to make me hamburger helper, which Agnes does. And
that was another one of like an okay moment. She made him the hamburger helper, and they sat there. That was kind of nice.
It could have
I'm
been
telling
a
you,
little.
Agnes is the best.
It could have been a little better, but like I got what it was going for at that point. This is when it revealed, like, he walks home and they're like, surprise, haha, happy 15th birthday. And I'm like, he's been 14 the whole time. This movie bad.
Do you know how old the actor was playing Augustine at the time?
I think I looked on his IMDb and he was like maybe flat 20.
Oh, okay. That's what I thought too. I mean, that's what he looks like. He looks like a 21, 22-year-old, just playing a younger person. But that doesn't make it any better what happened.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
And the fact that he was with a 35-year-old. Bad. While they're there at the surprise party, Dorothy is like, surprise, aren't you so surprised? We're having a great time. We're so surprised. And I'm like, Gabrielle Union's trying to make this fun. She's trying her best and it's not working. Deirdre is very over-medicated, so she eats a candle and says it's good.
Yeah.
Everyone has
I want to know if that was like a Daniel Day-Lewis style, she's really eating the candle, or if they made her a candle out of something else.
It's like a sugar and...
if it's like fondant, or if she was like, no, I have to do this.
I want to believe it was an actual candle and she was actually eating it.
I want to as well. And then everyone has a fight outside Deirdre's door, and the dialogue fades out so Blinded by the Light can play, and it snows in her room because she's going crazy.
She has fucking lost it.
She has lost her mind.
And I know I wasn't supposed to laugh at that scene, but it was such a tonal mess that I kind of was like, is this supposed to be funny? Because, like, there's something funny about it, because Blinded by the Light shouldn't be playing.
Yeah.
It's just a mess.
I think the soundtrack, it was like a gift to us from Ryan Murphy. He's like, this is bad, but you're going to like the tunes.
And then we immediately jump into frightening asylum scenes, and Deirdre is drugged, and we get a glimpse into her poetry fantasy. Was that the thing that was filmed at...
Yeah. I am fairly certain that she is standing on the stage at the Academy of Music in Northampton, which is right down the street from the library that I am sitting in.
Stealing the Wi-Fi from.
Yeah.
And so now we find out that Deirdre, after getting better after 1 week of observation, so she's not really that better, she's back out and about. She's stalking Norman on dates and finds out he has a fiance named Susie, and he's not drinking anymore, and he's just like rebounded big time.
Yeah.
Good
His
job.
date is gorgeous too.
Yeah.
So.
I kind of want to watch the Norman movie where he's just like, man, I wonder how my wife and son are doing.
It's just Benny and the Jets playing to everything he's doing.
And we find out that Finch stole all of Deirdre's money because he had power of attorney, so he got all of the child support payments. And it's presumably to pay off the house so the IRS doesn't come after him again.
I just don't know what is he doing with all of this money, you know?
He's putting it into the house.
But where?
I mean, there is just a bunch of junk everywhere, so like maybe he's just...
You just think he's like Hoarder's Extreme?
Maybe.
Yeah.
it's really not revealed at all.
Yeah.
This is the point where I said, quality wise, I don't think this is the worst movie we've covered on the podcast. Like, I think Kangaroo Jack is still worse, but content wise, I think it might be. Just
I
with
don't know,
like
man.
the
I
movie
still
it's
think Kangaroo
trying
Jack
to
is worse.
be. It's weird. Dorothy's gone now. All of the cups and plates and silverware are out on the lawn. Deirdre is going to have a poem published in Yankee Magazine. Good for her. But she reads Augustine's journal and gets jealous because he might also be trying to be a writer, even though, like, keeping a journal is a normal thing people do, even if they don't want to be a writer.
Yeah, she's just bonkers.
Yeah.
Do you guys know? Have you guys ever kept a journal?
I try to, and then I just, like, lose focus. And I'm like, oh, hey, it's been 3 weeks. Here's what happened.
I have scribbled some stuff in like notes in my phone, and that's the closest I've gotten.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think I'm the same as that, Luke, where it's just like I was a scribbled thought, but it's usually like a joke idea or something like that. It's never like, oh, hey, I went to the store today and I got kicked in the face or something like that. Like, I don't know. I always think it's weird. I don't know. I don't really understand the point of having a journal. But maybe that's because with like Facebook and like social media and stuff, there's really no point in having that kind of stuff anymore. So maybe I'm just so used to that
doing it a different way.
Yeah, that when I see someone doing it in a different way, it's just like, oh, that's weird. Why would you do that, loser?
Yeah, like I can't like focus to write a full like, dear journal, this is what I did today, blah 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 blah. But I treat my Twitter like, oh hey, here's what I'm feeling right now. Okay.
Yeah.
So after all that, we cut to Neil going to murder Finch. But Finch wakes up because of Agnes, and he doesn't. So Neil goes away and cries. And Finch cries. And then everybody cries.
And then Neil's just gone. Neil is gone from this movie, gone from real life.
Yeah, he gets on a bus and Augustine runs after the bus in slow motion. Did it have music for you guys? Or was it silent?
I don't remember. Like I said, I watched this movie last week, so I don't really remember.
I rented it on Amazon Prime, and I didn't know if like that was a song they couldn't get the rights for or something.
Maybe.
No, you know what?
Because
I saw that too. It was like a choice.
It was a
but it was weird.
It was a bad choice. It felt like something was missing because like it was a triumphant scene that you would expect, like, I don't know, the Beatles Carry That Weight to be underneath or something if it's this movie where he's like slow motion running after someone that
but I think you're supposed to feel for Augustine. So it's like supposed to be for him that the silence is happening.
I guess.
I think. Like the air has been sucked out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not conveyed very well.
No.
Yeah.
Like anything in this film.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I don't think anything in this film was conveyed very well.
And then Augustine reveals his plans. He wants to run away to New York City with Natalie, which, fine, sure, whatever.
Better than anything that's happening there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When he went to see the mother for the last time and she had the plates on the lawn, were her cabinets wallpapered?
No, I think they were just painted.
Yeah.
Painted the same thing as the wall, though?
I think so.
Why not?
I just feel like I've never seen a scheme like that before, where it's all
it was the 70s,
uniform.
Man. Yeah.
And like this did have okay 70s set design. I mean, they had Tab Cola in a bunch of scenes.
Yeah, that is true. She she asked for a tab too at the restaurant.
In this scene here, where they're in like a restaurant or a diner, and Augustine's like, "I'm going to New York. This is also a very Ryan Murphy thing for me to do. Goodbye. I'm going to kiss your head like the way Norman kissed my head when I was a child." And then
good catch.
And then we go to the bus stop, and Natalie revealed she won't run away with Augustine because I don't know. She
She
just
doesn't want
won't.
to.
They're apparently
My
not that
guess is that
close.
she like helped take care of the family,
I
and we
guess.
didn't hear more about it.
Well, in like the where they do where everyone's at now or whatever after the
Yeah.
movie, they
Mhm.
said that she actually did go to law school or whatever that she wanted to go to.
Yeah.
So I don't know what exactly was keeping her, from going with Augustine if she was going to do that
The
stuff
same stuff
anyway.
anyway. Yeah.
Yeah.
But instead, Agnes comes to tell him that Natalie's not showing up, and she gives him secret money that she was like, I was going to give this to my husband for the IRS, but like, fuck him.
I thought
Yeah.
she was gonna go with him for a minute.
I thought so too. But instead, we get another head kiss.
Yeah. How much money do you
And
think was in that tin?
it didn't give you a clear look at the bills.
Yeah.
I'd say somewhere in the 2,000 to 10,000 range.
You think 1,000 like that?
Yeah.
Really?
I think 2,000 would be the highest
Yeah,
for
because
me.
she's saying that she could use this to pay off the IRS.
I guess.
But
Yeah,
like, she
yeah.
also says it's like a penny here, a quarter there. Somehow
Yeah,
all
but then like
translates
it
to
adds
stacks
up.
of bills.
I would just love it if it was just like $20.
Yeah.
It's like good luck in New York.
All in
Here's
one.
$20.
Agnes, this is
Yeah.
$115. It's
Yeah,
helpful, but like,
it's gonna last one day in New York.
Get the fuck
and
out of here.
so it leaves with him sitting on a bench and a bus goes by. I guess that's to show he's not going to New York. I didn't.
No, he went.
Yeah, but he does go to New York.
True.
I think it was just he was waiting for a different bus.
Yeah,
that
makes
was the
sense.
wrong bus that they
Yeah.
showed.
And that's the end of the movie. And during the credits, they show like, where are they now? Finch is dead. Agnes worked in a nursing home. Hope worked for her dad. Deirdre still writes poetry. Norman had like liver problems and died in 2005. And then we get to
But
see
they got back in touch.
Yeah, true.
Which I don't know. I feel like there was more of that relationship than this
And we
movie
didn't
showed
see.
at all,
Yeah.
Mhm.
which was a weird choice.
And then it showed young Augustine and real Augustine. The kid looks nothing like him.
Yeah.
Like,
That's
they
usually
kind
the case with these movies.
of true. It was just weird that they like it did the side by side reveal. They're like, and it's like,
right? Look at
yeah.
these guys. Don't they
Yeah.
look the same?
Yeah, it's like, wow, these are two totally different people. One's just 20
Yeah.
years older than the other.
Yeah.
And that's Running with Scissors. Also, title doesn't come up anywhere in the film.
Yeah,
When
I was thinking about that too. I thought it did at one point, and I was like, oh, it's like scissors. Because I think someone tells someone not to run with the scissors or something like
I
that.
know Neil
Yeah.
tries to use the scissors to kill Finch,
Oh, maybe that's what
but
it
he
is.
walks.
Yeah, and that's why he didn't kill him, because he wasn't running.
Yeah. See if he was running.
Yeah.
Then everything
Lights
would
out.
Yeah.
All right, do we want to go over the criteria for this film?
Yeah, let's do it.
First up is how's the soundtrack? I think we've gone through it enough. It's a great
12 out of 10.
It's a great soundtrack, but utilized in the movie, it's awful.
It's like the Suicide Squad soundtrack, where it was like a super good soundtrack, but the movie
Yeah,
was dog
exactly,
shit.
actually. Where does our main actor land on the dieselometer? The kid who played Augustine, I think his name's John something.
John Cena.
No, that would
His
have
name
been
is John
a
Cena.
very different movie that I want to see a lot more.
A much better movie. John Cena as Augustine? Hell yeah. Sign me up for that.
But he doesn't get to do any John Cena stuff. It's just John Cena being
Playing
exactly the
Augustine.
same
Great.
timid little boy.
I would love that still. John Cena playing a 14-year-old boy.
John Cena is a 14-year-old confused gay boy in the 1970s.
Man.
That's an Oscar win for him right there.
Yeah.
I could like he was good, but I couldn't think of anything for the dieselometer.
So, what's the parameters of the dieselometer? Like, what do you guys judge that on?
Pretty much any performance Vin Diesel has done, whether it's in a movie or we've even done like theme park rides or just in his personal life, and how like their level of charm compares to one of them.
Okay.
I
Well,
gave
to
this
me,
one.
oh,
No, you go ahead.
All right. Well, to me, this felt like on the dieselometer. It was. I don't know if you guys have ever seen this, but if you haven't, you should, because especially with your podcast is very Vin Diesel heavy. But there's an interview that Vin Diesel did from like it's like an Argentinian interview, where the entire time the lady that's interviewing him is trying to get him to answer these questions, but he can't just get over how beautiful the interviewer is, and he keeps mentioning how beautiful she is. So that's where this movie lands to me.
What
The awkwardness of that.
Haven't you said that one before, Luke?
Yes, I don't
Really?
remember what movie it was
I think
for.
it was for G-Force.
That was a very horny movie. I stand by it if it was that one.
It makes sense because Vin Diesel's very horny in that. In
Yeah.
that
He
interview.
really.
It's like
I'm
it's
sorry, you're so
hard to
beautiful.
watch. Yeah. He starts like dancing and singing to her and everything. That's how I felt watching this movie. I felt like the interviewer interviewing Vin Diesel.
Where you're just like, please stop, please.
Yeah.
Do you have one, Luke?
I gave this one a Saving Private Ryan. Because
he was in Saving Private Ryan.
And he is good in it, but it's like good,
Well,
but not especially memorable.
Yeah, I would say Augustine is like, he's taking himself pretty seriously, and this is based on true events.
That works.
And that's what I went with on that.
I'll agree with the
I like
Saving
that
Private Ryan
logic.
thing.
Yeah.
Did I like this as a kid, or would I have liked it as a kid? No, to both.
No. I didn't like it as an adult.
I feel like I wouldn't have gotten to see it, but it would have been one of those things where, like, if it came on, I wouldn't have understood it, but I would have been like laughing at swears and like turds and stuff.
Yeah,
I think they said cunt like 80 times in this
they
movie.
said cunt a lot.
Which is the appropriate amount of times.
What has the director gone on to do? As I've said a lot, Ryan Murphy has created a lot of TV shows. I forget what his theatrical directing career has been, but like, I think he's doing the adaptation of the Prom musical. He's got
I think so too.
He's got like The Politician on Netflix currently. Gwyneth Paltrow again.
Nice.
Just a whole bunch of stuff, and he's hit or miss.
But all hitting harder than this one.
Yeah, no, this is not. Is there anything as memorable as the Peter Panda dance from the pacifier? I guess
they do a dance in this movie, right? During the montage with the Bible dipping and everything.
Yeah, with the cat.
Yeah, for whatever reason, they're just dancing while they're having this conversation. It's like a synchronized dance too, but that wasn't really explained either.
Like, that feels like it would be something that they would do in like a school talent show, but
yeah.
There's nothing. I mean, like, as memorable as I guess the skylight in the kitchen sequence. Like, that was a big thing in the trailer, and like, it's destroying stuff, so that's fun.
I'm doubling down on the turd.
Yeah, the most memorable thing to me is obviously the Masturbatorium. Like, that's something I'm going to take with me till the day I die.
Who is the Brad Garrett of this movie, which is an insane side character. They don't have to be a good guy. They don't have to be a bad guy. They don't even have to be in a lot of the movie, but they just have to be memorable and a little bit weird. I don't know. Fren or Hope, I said.
I went with Hope.
Agnes for me, man. 100%.
Okay.
that she stole
the only
the movie
likable
for
character.
Me. Yeah, she really was.
The only real likable character. And last but not least, is there anything as batshit insane as the Sound of Music subplot in The Pacifier, which, in case you don't remember, the young boy that Vin Diesel is watching shows up at school one day with bleached hair and a Nazi armband in his locker. Yeah. Everyone thinks that he's a Nazi, but we find out like 2 minutes later, he's just playing Rolf in a community theater production of The Sound of Music.
What an insane subplot to put in a children's
And it's
movie.
one scene.
Yeah.
That's my favorite part. I just put the whole movie.
Yeah.
The whole movie's just.
To me, the cat, the eating the cat thing, that was pretty batshit crazy.
Yeah.
True. And very quick.
Yeah.
I went with the plates or the dog food.
Mm.
Yeah, the dog food never shows up again. I thought that was going to be like a whole Agnes is crazy character arc.
It was just a quirk.
Yeah, like, haha, doctor is married to crazy lady, but like,
well, not
no.
like other girls.
Yeah.
Not like other girls that eat dog food.
Yeah.
All right.
It was bits.
Did you have a ranking for this movie, Luke?
Yeah. It's a big heaping grab bag of pills. Not better than The Pacifier.
I gave it 1 pair of safety scissors out of 7. Much worse than The Pacifier.
I'm gonna give it hold on a second. I'm gonna give it 1 fish stick and 1 grape.
Oh yeah, they do have fish sticks and grapes as their dinner.
Yeah.
Well, that's Running with Scissors. Sorry, Jessica, if you really love this movie, but we didn't.
But it fucking sucks.
It was terrible.
But speaking of recommendations, it's time for us to play the Coming Attractions game, where our guest Manny will give us clues, and we will try to guess what the next movie we'll be covering on this show is.
All right. Well, since we just all had to sit through 2 hours of nonsense, I figured that for you guys, I would offer up a movie that is one of my favorite movies of like the past 10 years. It's not like the best movie ever. It's like really like cheesy at some points, but like in the spots that it's good, it's amazing. And to give you a hint on this without actually spoiling what the movie is, I'm going to first say that the movie sort of plays out like a extended music video.
And it's from the last 10 years?
Yeah.
And are one or more of the actors in it fully canceled?
Yeah. You know exactly what it is.
Oh.
This is one of my favorite fucking movies.
Yeah. It's one of mine too.
Oh my god.
Is it Walk Hard?
No,
but Walk Hard's great.
that is a good movie.
Who's canceled? That'll ruin it.
Can I say
the
it?
main villain is...
Is he really the main villain though? I guess he is, yeah.
And he's kind of a villain. He's an antagonist, kind of.
He's one of the villains.
And the main hero, just over the weekend, has had some serious allegations against him.
Yeah, which I'm sorry that how timely this is.
Yeah, it came out in 2017.
So is it a Chris D'Elia movie?
No.
No.
That's a good guess though.
Yeah,
he is a timely cancellation.
It's a similar thing. Oh god. I was gonna say I've probably ranted about this movie to you a lot.
I'll give you another hint. It's it centers around like heists. Like there's a lot of heists in the movie.
Huh. And it's like a music video.
The movie plays out so well to the music of the movie.
Oh my god, it's Baby Driver.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Also, another TriStar movie I found out while doing my research.
I actually, for whatever reason, I watched Running with Scissors, and I had such a bad taste in my mouth that I was like, you know what? I'm gonna watch Baby Driver because it's been a while since I've seen this movie, and I love this movie. And watching it after this movie just solidified that for me.
I'm
like, this
so
is amazing.
excited for next week.
It's a nice palate cleanser to warm up to.
Next week's just gonna be 3 hours of me screaming about how good Edgar Wright is, and then like a 5-minute disclaimer at the beginning about like have done terrible things and we think that they are not good people.
Yeah, but this movie came out before all that,
before all that was in the open.
Yes.
All right. Thank you for being on, Manny.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me. This was a lot of fun. Can I plug stuff, actually?
Yeah, no, please do. Go right ahead.
I have a wrestling podcast that I do called False Count Anywhere. I've known that for a while. Check that out if you haven't. Even if you aren't a wrestling fan, I've been told that non-wrestling fans have listened to it and they still enjoyed it. And then I have another podcast that I do with a comic friend of mine called A Boy in His Fridge, where we just kind of we talk about like stuff that's going on in the world, and we'll make jokes about pretty much anything. So if you're easily offended, I would say don't listen to that one. Yeah, I mean, I'm a stand-up comic. I do shows when we're not in a pandemic. Follow me on Instagram. I usually post all my stuff there at eManny. The A is a 4. But yeah, that's my stuff.
All right.
Right on.
And don't forget, you can follow us on Twitter and Facebook at No Highway Pod. So yeah, that's it. Tune in next week for Baby Driver with another special guest. And for No Highway Option, I've been Connor.
And I've been Luke.
And as always, everything presented here has been our opinion. So if you don't agree with it, that's too bad, because it's our way. No highway option.
I'm sorry. That's good. That's a good ending.
It's a thing that like Luke and I try to sync up with, and I feel like we should probably tell the guest eventually. Like,
I think we got it maybe one time so far.
Let's try it again.
Yeah.
Let's try it again. All right.
Let's get one.
Yeah.
Okay. So, do you just want to
No
start from
highway. I'm sorry. No, good.
Because it's our way. No
highway
option.
Good enough.
Perfect.
And the music will play over and it's fine.